Right now at 9, authorities are searching for 3 inmates who escaped from the Berry County Jail. Plus, Tulsa officials praised the police response to this week's shooting at a hospital, and how the city of Pittsburgh plans to use federal investment funds.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Chris Warner. 3 inmates from the Berry County Sheriff's Office have escaped. Authorities say 29-year-old Lance Stevens, 29-year-old Matthew Crawford, and 37-year-old Christopher Blevins escaped from the Berry County Jail this morning. Stevens was being held on drug charges and unlawful use of a weapon. Crawford was held on felony stealing, and Blevins was held on drug charges, vehicle tampering, and unlawful possession of a firearm. The 3 men are considered armed and dangerous. If you know anything about their whereabouts, you're asked to call the authorities. Kansas Attorney General has filed first-degree murder charges in a Coffeyville man's death. Authorities say 61-year-old David Jackson of Coffeyville shot and killed Melvin Simpson Jr. on May 14th inside Jackson's apartment. He remains in Montgomery County Jail on $1 million bond. A Coffeyville, Kansas man pleads no contest in the fatal accidental shooting of a Chanute teenager. Authorities say 19-year-old Traven Hayes Smith accidentally shot and killed 15-year-old Nasha Gregory at a Coffeyville home in March. Today, he pleaded no contest to the charges of involuntary manslaughter and aggravated endangerment of a child. He's set to be sentenced on July the 18th. City of Pittsburgh will be making some improvements through federal investments. U.S. Senator from Kansas Jerry Moran was on hand for the announcement today. The police department is receiving $235,000 for new tasers and virtual reality training. City is also getting $3 million for a new wastewater treatment plant that will last 75 years.
This will be on the site of the old plant, so it will be a replacement. There will be a few areas, but it'll be right next door. We'll build this one, and then we'll just take out the other one.
The treatment plant is expected to cost a total of $40 million. The city is looking for other investment partners to help with the cost so it doesn't fall completely on taxpayers. We had a beautiful day across the 4 states. Doug Heddy joining us with the first look at the forecast.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice day for us today to end the week after we had all the showers, we had the thunderstorms earlier this week. We had that severe batch that rolled through Wednesday night into Thursday morning, but just some clouds kind of streaming through as we worked into the afternoon and the evening hours. Overall, we look pretty good. I am tracking some thunderstorms out to the west, and eventually this batch will get into the region by tomorrow afternoon. This is going to give us some clouds. This will also give us a chance that we could get a few scattered thunder showers by the time we head into Saturday afternoon. But overall, it looks pretty good. 56 to start, 66 by 10, and then 74 and then 79 by the time we head into the afternoon. But we are going to have that chance to get a few isolated thunderstorms. But our rain chances really increase this week. I'll have those details here in just a bit.
All right, Doug, thank you. Tulsa officials are praising police for their response after a gunman entered a medical building on Wednesday and opened fire, killing 4 people before taking his own life. Shay Smith has more.
I cannot begin to thank the men and women of the Tulsa Police Department for the immediate response that they had to the incident yesterday.
Tulsa Police Chief Wendell Franklin says at 4:52 the initial call came in from a third party who was on a video chat with someone at the medical building.
At 4:53 p.m. we received a 911 call about a shooter in a building. We then continued to receive multiple calls that were more specific on a shooter being on the 2nd floor of the Natalie building.
At 4:56, the first group of Tulsa police officers arrived on scene. At 4:58, TPD says they heard one last gunshot, which they believe was the suspect taking his own life. Multiple Oklahoma law enforcement agencies responded to the shooting within minutes.
It's Tulsa Police, Tulsa Fire, Tulsa County Sheriff, FBI, ATF, Light Horse Police. I mean, I could go on and on. There were so many people, which really just tells you we have a lot of great people in this community that want to help.
Today, the mayor thanking the first responders who ran into the building to try and save others.
I spoke with an officer yesterday who's a seasoned veteran of the department, and he was one of the first people to get here. And he said, Mayor, it was like the beaches of Normandy out there. Everywhere I looked, to my left and my right, there were officers running towards that building, jumping over bushes, getting around anything in their way between them and that threat so that they could save people. That is the law enforcement community that we have here.
Chief Franklin says his officers go through thorough training for not if, but when an incident like this happens. And on June 1st, it happened.
Because we have seen the violence that has taken place throughout the United States, and we would be naive not to think that that would not happen in our jurisdiction.
The shooter was later identified as Michael Lewis. Police say they found a letter on him that made it clear he came into the hospital to kill a doctor who he blamed for ongoing pain he experienced following a back surgery. A local foundation hosted an event called Stick It to Cancer. The Mercy Health Foundation hosted a dinner from area restaurants with a twist. Everything is served on a stick. It also featured live music. All of the proceeds from the event will fund equipment and programs to benefit area cancer patients.
It feels really good to be able to get back together, just to see our providers, see patients, see community members come together for the greater good. Every single person knows somebody, loves somebody who either has had cancer or who has cancer, and to know that what we're doing here tonight will help.
Stick It to Cancer was hosted at the Sterling Event Center. Well, some local kids spent the nice weather fishing today. The Neosho National Fish Hatchery hosted a free kids fishing derby. Kids between the ages of 7 and 12 and their families were able to cast a line and fish for trout in the hatchery. They were also able to take home any fish they caught.
This is just a day to actually give back to the community. To get these kids out, get them engaged in the great outdoors is the number one goal here.
The equipment used today, like fishing poles and lures, was donated by local residents. And if fishing isn't your kids' forte, maybe a splash pad might be right down their alley. Columbus, Kansas had their grand opening for the H&H Splash Pad at Discovery Park today for all people to go out and cool off from the warm weather. The grand opening had live music, food trucks, and Columbus Fire and Rescue grilling for a fireworks fundraiser. The splash pad can be located in the southeast corner of the square. Senator Moran was on hand today to announce a special honor for a Pittsburgh resident. Johnny Bima and his late twin brother Louis served in Southeast Asia during World War II as part of the Merrill's Marauders. In 2020, Congress approved legislation to give the Marauders the Congressional Gold Medal for their service. Today, Johnny and Louis' family were awarded that medal.
What the service would do is they took one to this outfit, one someplace else. But for some reason, we can even sleep in the same foxhole together.
The medal was awarded during a ceremony at Pitt State's Veterans Memorial. And we take this time now to honor one of our many four-state heroes. Private First Class Bill Duncan served in the Air Force during World War II, his hometown, Joplin. We're proud to recognize Private First Class Bill Duncan, tonight's four-state hero. And of course, if you'd like to learn more about our other heroes or nominate one of your own at any time, you can do that at KOAMNewsNow.com. Well, Doug's up next with a complete look at that forecast, and later a former Joplin High School standout is returning to Joplin to finish his college football career at Missouri Southern. We'll hear from him on his decision in sports.
It turned out to be a great Friday for us today. Of course, we had thunderstorms Wednesday night into Thursday morning, but we've had a chance to dry out just a bit. We've had so much rain over the past 5 or 6 weeks, and Friday was great. This evening's been good. We just have a few mid and upper level clouds which have been streaming through, but all in all, it looks pretty good. We have a weak little wave passing to our south down through parts of Texas. We do have some severe thunderstorms getting going. Colorado, New Mexico, through the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, and eventually that wave will start to affect us a little bit by the time we head into the daytime hours tomorrow. No big systems out to the west, but we have a lot of weak little waves. And those weak little waves, this time of year, once we get into June, they give us MCSs, or AKA big batches of thunderstorms. And that's what we're going to get over the next several days. Let's go through tonight. We'll stop tomorrow morning. Some clouds increasing, sitting upper 50s, so refreshing start. Clouds kind of increase through the morning hours, I think dry. We may get a few spotty showers on the Kansas and Oklahoma side. Here's the noon hour, temps into the mid 70s. As we go into the afternoon, still some clouds sticking around. Again, a few random showers, a random thunder shower, nothing strong, nothing severe. Overall, a pretty good Saturday. 56 to start, 74 by noon. High temp, 79. Slight chance for a few scattered thunderstorms, south winds, 5 to 15. All right, tomorrow night, we got to watch for a complex to our northwest. If this can develop, it drops in Sunday morning. Some of these storms could be strong, possibly severe. If we had anything severe, we're talking about hail and wind, but some heavy amounts of rain. So here's Sunday morning. This batch dives through, and so at least Sunday, it's going to be a rainy start. By the afternoon, we break out, see some sunshine, and we rebound back into the 70s. Guess what? We do it again. Let's go into Sunday night, into Monday morning. Look at this. Another big batch. Showers, thunderstorms, most likely strong to severe. Plows on through. And it keeps happening. As we go into Monday night and Tuesday morning, we get another batch of showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong as well. So we get this batch by the time we head into Tuesday. We dry out Tuesday afternoon. We do it again Wednesday. Another batch of showers and thunderstorms. We even do it again Thursday into Friday. So we have a lot of complexes of showers and thunderstorms that are going to affect us as we go through the next week. 79 tomorrow, 80 on Sunday, 83 Monday. We hold upper 70s to near 80 degrees, but of course, you can see we have rain chances every day. So this is going to be a problem. Because the ground is so saturated, we're going to most likely pick up some very heavy amounts of rain as we go through the next week. This is just a model projection, but it gives you the idea that we could pick up 4, 5, 6, 7 inches of rain over the next 6 to 7 days, and we haven't even dried out yet. So unfortunately, we got to deal with that, but overall, temperatures are looking pretty good. Chris?
Yeah, definitely some nice temperatures, but a little bit of a rainy week ahead. Check this out. This is our Tower Cam of Towers. It's sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction. It says work is continuing on our KOAM More Power project. We tell you about this all the time because it is a huge project that's going to affect you. You can get more information on this project at KOAMnewsnow.com/power. Coming up, a big step towards solving the baby formula shortage.
Abbott is restarting production at its baby formula plant in Michigan. I'm Grady Trimble with Fox Business. Coming up, we'll tell you why this isn't exactly a quick fix to the baby formula shortage.
Johnson,
Night at 10, right here on Fox 14.
Celebrations on the second day of the Platinum Jubilee going on without the Queen. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera has the latest from London.
A service of thanksgiving honoring the 70-year reign of Queen Elizabeth on the second day of her Platinum Jubilee celebration.
The royal family gathering at St. Paul's Cathedral, but noticeably absent, the Queen herself. The palace announcing Thursday that the 96-year-old would not be attending Friday's service after experiencing some discomfort following Thursday's celebrations. This coming after several missed appearances over the last several months due to mobility issues.
I think everyone's slightly disappointed, but this won't be a decision that Her Majesty has taken lightly. So it's really important she can enjoy this in comfort. And we know that she will be with us in spirit.
Her Majesty watching the service from Windsor. And although they couldn't get a glimpse of the Queen, some of the crowd outside the cathedral say they just wanted to be present to mark this historic milestone.
The Queen obviously has been on the throne longer than I've lived, so she's always been in my life right from when I was born, I guess, really. So it's just a fantastic achievement. 70 years in one job. I mean, no one ever does that, do they?
Much attention turning to Prince Harry and his wife Meghan, the couple making their first appearance at the Jubilee celebrations Friday. The pair taking a backseat role, no longer senior members of the royal family, after giving up their duties 2 years ago and moving to America.
No word on whether the Queen will attend the star-studded Platinum Party concert at Buckingham Palace tomorrow. In London, Maltha Rivera, Fox News.
Baby formula maker Abbott is set to reopen its plant in the coming days, but it's still unclear when recalled formula will return to store shelves. Fox Business Network Grady Trimble has the story.
Reopening this plant is a step in the right direction, but it's by no means a quick fix to this baby formula shortage. Abbott has said it'll start by producing a specialty brand of baby formula. That was not part of the voluntary recall in mid-February, but the company says it'll be available quickly, as early as June 20th. Abbott has not said, however, when 2 of the brands that were part of that voluntary recall will be available on store shelves again. While this plant has been down, Abbott has been shipping in formula from its facility in Ireland. The Biden administration has been working with baby formula makers as far away as Australia and the United Kingdom to fly in their product to the United States. Despite those efforts, though, the shortage of formula has only gotten worse in the past couple of weeks. Nationwide, the out-of-stock rate is nearly 74%, and some states are getting hit harder than others. More than 90% of formula is out of stock in the states you see in red on this map, with Georgia and Arizona seeing out-of-stock rates nearing 95%. We're also learning the Department of Health and Human Services is launching an investigation into the FDA and its handling of this whole process. They're specifically looking into whether the FDA followed policies and procedures in inspecting this facility, which of course eventually led to its shutdown, as well as its oversight of the recall process. In Sturgis, Michigan, Grady Trimble, Fox Business.
Still ahead, why Tesla may be laying employees off and plans for a new Walmart fulfillment center.
There's a Mo for every.
Elon Musk calls for a hiring freeze, Walmart announces expansion plans, and LeBron James sets a new record. Fox's CJ Papa has these stories and more in today's Fox Business Briefs.
A new jobs report from the Labor Department shows U.S. employers added 390,000 jobs in May. This beat expectations, which only estimated some 328,000 jobs, but it's still lower than April, which saw more than 400,000 jobs added. Meanwhile, the unemployment rate stayed steady at 3.6%. Layoffs could be coming to Tesla. In an email to top executives, Elon Musk asked the company to cut staff by 10% and pause all new hiring worldwide. Musk saying he has a, quote, super bad feeling about the economy. The email comes just days after the billionaire told all employees to head back to the office for work or leave the company. Walmart is planning to open 4 new fulfillment centers in the U.S. over the next 2 years. The project would add 4,000 new jobs across 4 different states. Walmart says the centers will boost their online delivery service and make workers' jobs easier. The first facility will open up this summer in Illinois. Future centers will be built in Indiana, Texas, and Pennsylvania. There's a new member of the Billionaires Club, LeBron James. Forbes reporting the Los Angeles Lakers star's net worth is now valued at $1.2 billion. It's based on endorsements, business ventures, and investments. James is the first basketball player to reach billionaire status while still playing in the NBA. For more stories, log on to foxbusiness.com. In New York, I'm CJ Papa.
Up next, a happy ending to a story of a puppy who was shot with an arrow. Before we get into this next story, we want to warn you that some viewers may find some of these images disturbing, but the story does have a happy ending. A puppy who survived an arrow through its neck gets a new home. The 4-month-old Chihuahua mix was found last month in Desert Hot Springs, California, with an arrow still stuck in her neck. The pup, named Tiffany Grace, went through days of treatment for her injury. Riverside County Animal Services received hundreds of applications to adopt the pup, and she now has a new family. An incredible ending to a story that could have gone a completely different direction. We've got 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way.
President Biden makes a big push for new gun control laws. I'm Doug Luzader in Washington. We'll have more on the prospects for passage in Congress coming up.
The Russians invaded Ukraine 100 days ago, and the fighting is still escalating in the east. I'm Trey Yingst in Kyiv. I've got the details coming up.
It's the O'Reilly.
Welcome back. A federal grand jury has indicted former Trump White House advisor Peter Navarro. The indictment on 2 misdemeanor counts of criminal contempt of Congress comes from Navarro defying subpoenas from the House January 6 Select Committee. Comes 2 days after Navarro revealed in a court filing he had been subpoenaed to appear before a grand jury as part of the Justice Department's probe into the January 6 riots at the U.S. Capitol. New research shows more children are winding up in the hospital after taking the widely available sleep supplement melatonin. CDC report shows a 530% increase in pediatric melatonin ingestions reported to poison control over the last decade. The largest spike occurred during the pandemic. President Biden has delivered an impassioned plea for new gun control legislation. During a primetime address last night, he urged Congress to pass a new ban on so-called assault weapons. Doug Luzader has more from Capitol Hill, where negotiations have been underway in the wake of a number of mass shooting attacks.
The bipartisan talks in the Senate are said to be making progress, but they are still likely to fall short of what the president is asking for.
For God's sake, how much more carnage are we willing to accept?
President Biden addressing the nation last night after a spate of shooting attacks that has left communities around the country grieving, and he is calling on Congress to act.
We need to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. And if we can't ban assault weapons, then we should raise the age to purchase them from 18 to 21.
The democratically controlled House is moving forward with new legislation that, among other things, would increase the age to purchase some guns from 18 to 21. But this has long been a difficult issue.
So this gun would be banned.
I hope the gun is not loaded.
I'm at my house. I can do whatever I want with my guns.
And this really comes down to what can pass the evenly divided Senate and what would survive Supreme Court scrutiny.
You could have expanded background checks. I think that would be clearly constitutional. Changing the age throughout the whole country for gun ownership, that might run into a Second Amendment problem.
But at least one Democrat is promising to do whatever it takes.
If the filibuster obstructs us, we will abolish it. If the Supreme Court objects, we will expand it.
The president, though, is leaving all of that to Congress. Right after his address, he departed the White House for an extended weekend at his beach house in Delaware. And the president did suggest that if Congress fails to act, voters should make this an issue in the November midterm elections. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
On the 100th day of the war in Ukraine, we're seeing the battle line start to shift, with Russia making solid grounds in the east and Ukraine counterattacking in the north and south. Fox News correspondent Trey Yingst has more from Kyiv, Ukraine.
The Russians were expecting a quick victory in Ukraine, but the war is now in its 100th day, and there's no end in sight. Moscow is gaining ground in the Donbas region, where heavy fighting is being reported up and down the front line. Officials here say the Russians are reinforcing their troops by mobilizing civilians from areas already under their control, sending them into battle in the first line of attack to protect Russian soldiers. Ukraine's defense minister says his troops are holding their own, but can't compete with Moscow's air power.
Having stalled the Russian attack, our army is forced to retreat from the towns where no single wall is left standing after the Russian bombing.
But they're hoping a pledge from the U.S. will help to turn the fight around. The Biden administration says it's shipping multiple launch rocket systems here, and Ukrainian troops are already training on the new weapons.
We've come to reinforce our allies, and we'll continue to do that going forward.
Meanwhile, the EU is opening a new front in the economic battle, officially banning Russian oil imports, with limited exceptions for some Eastern European countries. Part of the ongoing effort to isolate Moscow and deplete Vladimir Putin's war chest.
90% of oil is banned, and I think it's really significant, unprecedented measure.
European officials are also targeting Russian banks and military officers in this latest round of fighting. In Kyiv, Trey Yingst, Fox News.
A bit later, how officials in Colorado hope a weather modification program will help ease the state's drought issues.
Turned out to be a great Friday for us today. Of course, we had thunderstorms Wednesday night into Thursday morning, but we've had a chance to dry out just a bit. We've had so much rain over the past 5 or 6 weeks, and Friday was great. This evening's been good. We just have a few mid and upper level clouds which have been streaming through, but all in all, it looks pretty good. We have a weak little wave passing to our south down through parts of Texas. We do have some severe thunderstorms getting going. Colorado, New Mexico, through the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas, and eventually that wave will start to affect us a little bit by the time we head into the daytime hours tomorrow. No big systems out to the west, but we have a lot of weak little waves. And those weak little waves, this time of year, once we get into June, they give us MCSs, or AKA big batches of thunderstorms. And that's what we're going to get over the next several days. Let's go through tonight. We'll stop tomorrow morning. Some clouds increasing, sitting upper 50s, so refreshing start. Clouds kind of increase through the morning hours, I think dry. We may get a few spotty showers on the Kansas and Oklahoma side. Here's the noon hour, temps into the mid 70s. As we go into the afternoon, still some clouds sticking around. Again, a few random showers, a random thunder shower, nothing strong, nothing severe. Overall, a pretty good Saturday. 56 to start, 74 by noon. High temp, 79. Slight chance for a few scattered thunderstorms, south winds, 5 to 15. All right, tomorrow night, we got to watch for a complex to our northwest. If this can develop, it drops in Sunday morning. Some of these storms could be strong, possibly severe. If we had anything severe, we're talking about hail and wind, but some heavy amounts of rain. So here's Sunday morning. This batch dives through. And so at least Sunday, it's going to be a rainy start. By the afternoon, we break out, see some sunshine, and we rebound back into the 70s. Guess what? We do it again. Let's go into Sunday night, into Monday morning. Look at this. Another big batch. Showers, thunderstorms, most likely strong to severe. Plows on through. And it keeps happening. As we go into Monday night and Tuesday morning, we get another batch of showers and thunderstorms. Some of those could be strong as well. So we get this batch by the time we head into Tuesday. We dry out Tuesday afternoon. We do it again Wednesday. Another batch of showers and thunderstorms. We even do it again Thursday into Friday. So we have a lot of complexes of showers and thunderstorms that are going to affect us as we go through the next week. 79 tomorrow, 80 on Sunday, 83 Monday. We hold upper 70s to near 80 degrees, but of course, you can see we have rain chances every day. So this is going to be a problem. Because the ground is so saturated, we're going to most likely pick up some very heavy amounts of rain as we go through the next week. This is just a model projection, but it gives you the idea that we could pick up 4, 5, 6, 7 inches of rain over the next 6 to 7 days. And we haven't even dried out yet. So unfortunately, we got to deal with that. But overall, temperatures are looking pretty good. Chris?
I certainly like those temperatures, but that rain's something we've got to keep an eye on. Doug, thank you. Coming up in sports, a former Joplin High School All-State offensive lineman commits to return to Joplin and play for Missouri Southern. Plus, the St. Louis Cardinals aim to even their series with the rival Chicago Cubs. Jacob Leonard has those highlights and more next.
Fridays in June, 6 p.m. Fox Fall.
The Joplin Outlaws lost a tough one to open the season last night, falling to the Nevada Griffins 5-4. The Outlaws are right back on the field tonight, aiming to bounce back and pick up their first win of the summer. Joplin hosted Des Moines Peak Prospects this evening at Joe Becker Stadium. And no score in the fourth. Carson Carpenter rips one fair down the first base line. In there to second for the double. Then Max Bruff going the same way. Puts it over there in the corner. Carpenter scores on the double to give the Outlaws the lead. Now in the sixth, Joplin back down 3-1. Liam Bailey grounds out to shortstop. But Cade Lott comes in to score. And same inning, Michael Long gets it through this time. 2 score on that. Outlaws back in front. Right now, Joplin has pulled ahead 8-4 in the 8th inning. St. Louis Cardinals dropped their series opener to the Cubs last night, falling 7-5. Now that loss snapped a 3-game winning streak for the Cardinals. This afternoon, Cards try to get back on track and even up the series against Chicago. Not really a good start. Patrick Wisdom 3-run home run in the first. Cubs up 3-0. Now in the third, Cards down 3-1. Paul Goldschmidt, 3-run jack of his own. That extends his hitting streak to 25 games. Cardinals have their first lead of the day. Then they really started rolling. 4th inning, Corey Dickerson, his first home run of the season, a solo shot. Breaks the 4-4 tie. Cards back in front. Then same inning, Nolan Gorman with 2 on. Up and out to right for the 3-run homer. His third. Cardinals pull away and hammer the Cubs today, 14-5. In the American League, the Kansas City Royals have lost 4 straight and 11 of their last 13. Tonight they try to turn things around against the Houston Astros, who have won 4 in a row. That one's in the top of the 8th. Royals currently trail at 10-3. Bobby Witt Jr. is 1 for 3 on the night with a 3-run home run for Kansas City. Former Joplin High School football standout Alex Curry has decided to come home to continue his college football career. Curry has committed to play next season for Atiba Bradley and the Missouri Southern Lions. Now, out of high school, Curry signed to Division I Southeast Missouri State in 2020. And that's where he spent the 2021 season last fall, but he did not use a year of eligibility, so he comes to Southern with 4 years of eligibility remaining. Before Southeast Missouri State, Curry was a monster for Joplin High School. He was a 2-time first-team All-State selection as an offensive lineman, helping the Eagles finish as the Missouri Class 6 state runner-up as a junior in 2019. Well, we caught up with him, and here he is on coming back home to Joplin to finish his college career.
First day, I really had it narrowed down to Southern. I wanted to go to Southern really bad, but a couple other schools hit me up. I had a couple D1 schools hit me up, but it was too far from home. I have a lot of weight room goals. I want to get better in the weight room and become stronger. I have a bunch of people around me to help me get to where I want to be, and just physically, I'll be a much better player than I was.
Finally, the Boston Celtics have a 1-0 lead in the NBA Finals. Celtics outscored the Golden State Warriors 40-16 in the fourth quarter last night to win Game 1 of the series 120-108. Now, the Celtics did it with their best player, Jason Tatum, having a bit of an off night offensively, going just 3 for 17 from the field, but he still managed to find a way to impact the game, finishing with a career-high 13 assists.
We've talked about it throughout the year, and I've talked to him at length about impacting the game when he's not having his best offensive night. And so did that tonight, obviously going 3 for 17. That's usually not going to happen, but I love his growth and progression in those areas where he's still guarding on the defensive end, still getting others involved, not pouting about his shots and trying to play through some mistakes and some physicality that they were playing with him.
That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Experts in Colorado hope a weather modification program will help increase water from snowstorms and help ease the state's drought. Fox's Valerie Mills has more.
Helping Mother Nature make it snow.
Weather modification is the only way to actually increase water.
Squeezing more water out of a storm is what Andrew Rickert specializes in.
Increase and augment snowpack, so as we move into these uncertain times with drought and climate change, that we know that we're doing everything we can to protect ourselves.
He leads Colorado's weather modification program. When conditions are right, Rickert starts seeding clouds, sending tiny particles of silver iodide into the sky through a propane generator.
You get that orographic lift from the mountains that brings the solution up into the cloud and then creates snowflakes.
Wind speed and direction need to be just right, and so do temperatures for the solution to work inside the cloud.
The main thing you want is super cooled liquid water in that cloud, and that's what it takes for the silver iodide molecule to bind with. The precipitation keeps binding until it's large enough to fall out as a snowflake.
This particular cloud seeding generator targets Winter Park. It's one of 7 stations across Colorado.
With the drought Colorado's facing, weather modification is just another tool in the toolbox to help with what we're facing statewide.
An effort to boost winter snowpack, lessen drought conditions, and offer more water for Colorado and states downstream.
We even get funding from Lower Basin, specifically for the Colorado River, one of the most important watersheds, rivers in the United States. So it's really a group effort.
So how much extra snow do we actually get? For any given storm, cloud seeding adds an extra inch of snow to every 10 inches that falls naturally.
We're adding 8 to 12% of SWE to each seeded storm event. All those storms you seed, that can augment a lot of additional snow.
They typically seed up to 30 storms each year. In 2020, extra snow from cloud seeding generated over 300,000 gallons of water.
Any additional water we can squeeze out of a storm is so important these days.
Coming up, a first look at a new upcoming movie and a new Universal Studios park ride. A movie turned musical heads to Broadway. Universal Studios Hollywood teases a new ride and more. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has all the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
I have a huge crush.
A first look at Porter's rom-com, Hop on Board Mario Kart, and a movie turned musical in the Hollywood Nation. Cameron Crowe is getting ready to conquer the Great White Way. The filmmaker's stage musical adaptation of his 2000 film Almost Famous will make its Broadway debut this fall. Previews for the show begin September 13th ahead of opening night October 11th at a Schubert Theater to be announced. Universal Studios Hollywood shared images and a video of Super Nintendo World's signature ride, Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge. Guests will board a 4-seat Mario Kart vehicle wearing augmented reality goggles and go on a multi-dimensional experience that recreates iconic environments from the video games. The all-new immersive themed land is expected to open in early 2023.
These are for you.
And in today's first looks, Amazon Prime Video released the trailer to Billy Porter's directorial debut, Anything's Possible. The film centers around a trans girl navigating her last year in high school and a new relationship with her crush. It premieres July 22nd.
So you've officially set the school on fire.
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Okay, so growing up in the 90s, that Super Mario World, that is something I can definitely get behind. I've still got my Super Nintendo, actually, with a number of Super Mario games. Well, that's enough about me. Now on to this. This is a baby albino Galapagos giant tortoise. He's not giant yet. He's in Switzerland. We're going to leave you with that. We're going to be back here tomorrow night. Of course, we're on anytime, KOAMNewsNow.com and with KOAM Plus. And thank you so much for making us part of your night.